Oh. And welcome back here. We had the glasses on and we forgot the hat here. So we are going to be going without the hat on the live stream, but we're going to be with the glasses here for another live stream. How's everybody doing today? Glad to see you guys here. We are back for our evening part of the live coverage, because you can see by the cameras on the screen and on the intro screen, this second band of snow is here. The second band of snow is here. It's actually happening. It is here. It is pretty strong right now. You can see by the intro and on part of our live camera. So that is what I want to tell you right off the bat. But glad to see you guys here. We are back. We're going to be going over, we're just going to be analyzing the radar, checking out the cameras, going over what to expect the rest of the night into tomorrow. And we'll give you the new snowfall totals of what we can expect for the rest of the remainder of the event. But let's get right into the warnings here, and just briefly go over that we still have, you can see at the bottom part of your screen, it is scrolling there. We still do have our, let me go to the screen here. We still do have our winter storm warning that's in effect, and the newest update that they had at 1:41 today, 1:41 p.m., not the highway, 7 and 10 inches of snow is what their final forecast is 7 to 10 inches of snow, and it goes until 6 p.m., and travel could be very difficult to impossible. So let's go to the main radar and analyze what is happening right now, right in our region here. So let's take a look here. It's been snowing all day. It's been snowing all day. We have seen it snowed all day, and we were supposed to have a break in action, but that did not happen. So the snowfall totals are going to go up, but you can see the snow is moving in, and I don't know if you guys can see on the screen that well, but you can see that heavy dark blue snow bands are moving through. And then as we take this off here, look as we get towards the south. Look how heavy it is. And this is what we're talking about. The snow is going to be walking on in, and it's going to be heavy as well. So you can see, especially down near Farmington, to Fredericktown, to Perryville, you can see that we have that heavy amount of snow right there. And this is what's going to be giving us our accumulating snow. So like I said, it was quiet for a little bit, then it just went all the way bye-bye. And I don't know why this is. I think the radar program is almost, this has like other stuff, so let me close this out real quick. I think the radar program, I think it's needing a little bit of a break here. And let's open it back up. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that, but you can see the heavy snowfall is moving in, and if we put on the regional part of the snowfall and we broaden it out, this is exactly what we forecasted, everybody. So you can see the rest of the waves of the moisture and the snow is just going to be going up like this. Sleet is going to be going in like that. So everything is on track here. So this is basically what we have now is the pre-event is what we're seeing now. It's heavy, but the real heavy stuff that's going to finish off our totals still has to come up I-44. So we are still watching it come through, but the heaviest action is still near Oklahoma, and it has to move all of its way up near to the St. Louis region. So overnight, while we're sleeping, we're going to be topping off the snowfall totals. But as of right now, you can see, especially on our camera down right below me, that's in Pacific, you can see that we do have some heavy snowfall rates being observed right now. So that is the broad view of what we have coming. And like I said, the snow is here. The second round is here. It's basically first plus the second round is moving through. So let's see the chat here. Suzanne says, bring on the snow. Oh, yes, I am ready, just like you. Jeanette says, good evening, Team Kenny. We are watching on our TV via YouTube. Oh, that's exciting. You have to let me know how the quality is. Everybody says it's a lot clearer over there, and it's better to see the images, so let me know. Richard says, be safe, everyone. Yes, hopefully no one has to go anywhere tomorrow. We don't want you guys out. I know we've been preaching about this. Sound like a broken record, but now, everyone, we have officially entered the no driving point. We are stuck wherever you are. You are stuck there. You are not leaving because this is the worst part of the storm. And if I throw back on the highway cameras, you can see that most of the highways are going completely covered, or you can see on the screen, was that this way or that way? Yeah. You can see on the screen of our live cameras, you can see that all the highways are getting covered, like I said, and the only reason there's usually one lane open is just because the traffic, and we have powdery snow throwing off the snow, so that's keeping the lane open. But as we go into the later parts of the night, it's going to be getting worse because we're going to have less and less traffic out there, and we're going to have heavy snowfall totals. Because right now, you see, if we go to, let's go to our Oakville camera, courtesy of Oakville WX, we're not having right now hamster style snowflakes. So hamster style snowflakes, we are not seeing hamster style. Right now, we're seeing salt pepper shaker snowflake size. So right now, we're not getting the bulk of the snow of what we're getting. And you can see that here. It's definitely in the atmosphere, but we're not seeing those huge snowflakes that we need to really start getting heavy on the accumulations. So that is something to note. But we do expect that to kick in. Like I said, if we go back to the radar view, these darker blues, and you can see on here these lines, basically these lines that are out near western Missouri, those are the snow bands. Those are going to be what's giving us totals, and everything that's in the rear is going to be hopefully transitioning to those higher snowfall rates. Because right now, basically, if we have those little salt shaker style snowflakes, it's going to take a long time to get the accumulation. That's basically what happened today. So, but we do expect the snowfall totals to ramp up and an intensity where we could potentially see some hamster style snowflakes, and it will increase our totals. Let's see the chat here. That is Aaron in the chat. He says no, yes. instead of no. Jeanette says, you're looking good on the big screen. Thanks for all you do. You're very welcome. Amy says, none here on snowflakes. Unfortunately, I have to break it to you that is not going to be impossible. And John Durbin says, enjoy salt on my cheese curds. Yes, I also heard, we mentioned this earlier, that people also prefer Old Bay seasoning because they have let me know that it is also salty if you use some Old Bay seasoning. So, salty cheese curd, salty, whatever you want to call it, is going to be possible. So, it is happening right now. But like I said, overnight while we're sleeping, it's going to be accumulating. And you can see it's just going to have to keep coming up. So everybody, everyone is going to be seeing snow. And basically the intensity that we have right now is what we're going to be working with. We just have to have the snowflake size get a little bit bigger so then we can get the accumulating that foot of snow that we're talking about. So that is the radar view. But let's go into the future radar. And let's get a general idea of what we're expecting. And the reason I waited till 8 o'clock to go live, because I wanted to make sure that, everything was still on board and we had the latest data. I didn't want to go offline and then the data comes afterwards. So that's the reason, just a little bit late for the live stream. But let's go into the model page. And let me get this loaded up here. Kevin says, right on TKW. Thank you very much. You guys like my glasses, by the way. My glasses, these are the light filtering glasses. They're not safety glasses to just help with the screen here. Because believe it or not, I have been sitting in this chair since 5 a.m. So since 5 a.m. I have been sitting in this chair, posting updates, going live. So like I said, I love doing it. Being up since 5 a.m., it's worth it. This is my passion. I really enjoy it. You guys support me. I just appreciate it. It's worth it. I don't make any money from this. I just do it out of my own time, money, effort, and make sure you guys get the most reliable, accurate data. So let's check the chat. How much snow do you think Troy, Missouri is going to get? We're about to answer that in just a minute. And then Amy says, I can believe how many people I told about you yesterday and today. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. So let's go into the newest data that we have here. The newest data is, it'll go out all the way 48 hours actually. So let's zoom in. Let's take off the live cameras here so you guys can take a look. And give me 1 second here. Let me get the timing box up here so you guys can take a look with the timing. So that is what we don't want. Let's change that. My Facebook feed is filled with a lot of other weather people. All right, so let's go into the amounts here. And remember, this is not calculating, or it's going to try to calculate what's on the ground, but it is not going to be calculating all of it. So we're going to have to, do a little bit of math here. So let's go and let's see if it loads. A lot of people are probably using this right now. Usually around this time, takes a minute because a lot of people are using this. Okay, so let's turn on this. Okay, amounts, everybody. And remember, the past couple days, we sounded like a broken record, but we had to use the rainfall amount. So you can see here, make sure we're on the right data. This is not really equivalent, but this is predicting what's on the ground. And as we go into the morning time, you can see the snowfall totals finally stop jumping around the 6 p.m. time frame. We'll show you the future radar after this, so make sure you don't go anywhere. So remember how we have to do the ratios. So let me get give me 1 second. I have to get the ratio map set up because it is a little bit tricky and I don't want you guys to fall asleep waiting on me to calculate it. So just give me just a second. I forgot where it was. So let me get the calculator. There's one moment, but basically we are getting to a point where we're at a 15-to-1 ratio. So 15 inches of snow per 1 inch here. So Let me do the math real quickly to get you guys the accurate amount, and we can get a ballpark here. So give me just a second here. I promise. I apologize that I did not have this ready. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, so one thing I do want to let you guys know is that with these snowfall totals, I know, last minute, I am bumping up my total. I am bumping up my total, and the reason I am bumping up the totals just a little bit is because I am bumping it up because we did not have a break in the snow. It was snowing all day, so my totals from the past couple days were a little bit low in my opinion. And while I'm getting the ratios set up here to help you guys out, I am upping my forecast to 10 inches of snow. Maybe on the low side 8, but I think we're going to be happily sitting around 10 inches of snow. But this could overperform. It still has time to overperform. I mean, it's already overperforming right now with no breaks in the forecast, like in the action, I mean. So higher amounts are definitely likely, and a foot could be possible, but just give me just a second here. 5 inches. Okay, there we go. So basically what this is, basically what's being added is this is a ½ inch. So basically at this ratio, we're going to be looking at 7.5 inches of snow. But what has already has fallen is we already have seen reports come in 3 inches of snow, 2 inches of snow, and 1 inch of snow. So you do the math, 7 plus 3, everybody, equals 10 inches of snow. So that is where I'm getting my forecast there. So most of the area, the Troy area, will be just slightly lower. We had lesser amounts, so they're probably going to be on the low end. So I think that was Bobby asking about the Troy area. I think as of right now, depending on where the band's set up, you are going to be in the low end amount, and I think around 7-8 inches, but around the meat of downtown St. Louis and basically south here. So this area that is highlighted in the blue, this lighter blue that I have drawn out right here, besides, the brighter area, this is all about 10 inches. Everything, and this is including what has already fallen. And basically this light green area right here, we are looking probably about, let's just say 8 inches. And then everything down here, we could be looking close to a foot, maybe plus, and some isolated areas. So Potosi's right on that line, far southern Jefferson County, almost near Redbud, and far south of St. Clair County is that potential to see the potential higher amounts. But remember, this has already overperformed. So, I'm just going to throw it out there, everybody. We'll throw it a 10 plus, 8 plus, because there is a chance that will be likely. But we can't rule out the low amount. We'll put 6 as the low amount, so 6 to 8. And we'll put the low amount 8 right here. And then we'll put 10 down here. So that is currently, based off of my data and my analysis of what's already fallen on the ground, is about 8 to 10, 0 to 8, 10 to 12 inches of snow that we still have coming. But remember, we have to get rid of the salt shaker style snow. We need the hamster style snowflakes to kick in, which it will. And that's how we're going to get the totals. Because you're probably looking right now and saying, this is not going to do much. And it won't right now. But it is slowly getting its act together. The low level jet, basically the energy and the low pressure system. They're waking up finally and they're scooting in. So that is what we're thinking here. So that is the snowfall totals. Majority of my viewers are around the St. Louis area, and we're going to be seeing 8 to 10. But remember, I don't want you to be surprised if we see more than that, okay? And I say that because it's possible. And what's crazy about this, everybody, is that we are in the event, and we still cannot get an accurate total. We still cannot get an accurate total. I think it's crazy, but I think happily 12 down here, 10 down here, and then our other places 8 total. So do the math. We still have about 7 more inches to go from now into the evening part of Sunday. So now that we got that taken care of, let's go into the timing here. Let's take a look at the timing and once again to see what we can expect. You're welcome, Bobby. Amy says, I had a break at my place. The pipes burst? I hope not. And thanks for saying I'm awesome. And Vincent, if you're still in here, say great job, Kenny. This is your calling. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. That does mean a lot. Like I said, I've been here since 5 a.m. and I was in this chair all week trying to get you the most accurate data. So let's go into the timing. So snow right now, and it's going to eventually pick up into the overnight hours. Unfortunately, we are not going to be here all night long covering this storm because, it's just snow, okay? So basically that is that. And it's going to be going all the way through the morning time. So if you have to go to work on Sunday morning, it's just going to be nearly impossible. And we'll eventually start to wrap up. We may get a little kicker system on the back side of things. And we will finally wrap up as we get into the afternoon and evening time. So, like I said, it's going to be continuing all snow. The sleet will stay all the way to the south. Not expecting any sleet, any thunder snow, thunder sleet. It's just plain old snow. It's going to be heavy at times. And you can see the snow bands right here as well. And that's going to also determine exactly how much we get. So that's why we mainly have a window, because the model is just predicting right now. But this snow band you see right here could always shift over in this area. So your neighbor down the street might get an inch or two more than you. That's how crucial these snow bands and how difficult it is to be precise where exactly these snow bands will end up. Tammy says here in Afton, it looks like we've already got 5 inches or so. Let's see. Yeah, I know we had a couple totals, but I haven't seen anything out the Illinois side that high, but I have seen totals on the higher end of things close to about 3.5 inches. So that is what I'm seeing so far. But like I said, it does vary by location due to where the snow band's set up. So let's go back to the radar now that we got that taken care of. And I think, Tammy, you were talking about the where it got like 20 inches of snow. I think that's what you're talking about. That is the record that we have. If we get anything more than 15 inches, it'll be the most amount that we had, and I don't even know how long. So that is what we're thinking there. Just checking a couple updates here. We just got a report from, let's see if you can see here. Let's zoom in. Hold on one second. We did get a report from the city of Potosi that you can take a look here. High Street from North Missouri to Stone Street is closed due to a water main break. So residents may see some low pressure and discolored water during the short period of time. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get more of these, especially since it's going to be very cold, even on Mondays. So wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some more water main breaks. So the power is doing okay for now. There was some concerns earlier, but I think for the most part we will be okay. Aaron was saying that we will have enough power, so that is good news. But you can see, especially down at the Pacific camera, let's go and add the live cameras around the area. Let's take a look to see how the road conditions are doing. And let's see if I can take that. So you can see road conditions here. We do have whiteout conditions in most of our area, but far as the big snowflakes, they have not reached our area just yet. So the snow is coming down, but as far as the big time snowflakes, they have not reached our area yet. But we do have the right amount and the heaviness. We just need the snowflakes to grow in size, and then after that, we are going to be cooking. We are going to be getting the amount. So, has anybody changed their weather amount prediction now that we haven't had a break in the action? Has anybody changed their snowfall amounts? But one thing is, as well, I do want to let you know, we made it through part one, everybody. We made it through part one. And according to the Missouri State Highway Patrol, there was only one fatality, but it was not related to the winter weather. So far, we are doing good. Now we just have to go to the next day. You can see scrolling at the bottom of your screen, we only have 21 hours left. So when we go to sleep, if you sleep 8 hours, we only just have a full day to go. The warning goes till 6 p.m. and may get shaved off a little bit earlier, but I think they're just having it as wiggle room. So let's get back to the radar here. Get you another radar update if you're just tuning in here. Heavy snow is moving in. We're not seeing the big snowflakes, but heavy snow is moving into our area. The main system here, you can see it is starting to push our way. And I know you guys see the sleet and the ice on the screen. That should stay to our south, and I feel very and highly confident that we will have it that way. So, new report of snow so far, 3 inches right now coming in from St. Charles, Missouri. And as always, if you have any pictures of the snowfall or any pictures during the snowfall event, make sure you post it in any one of the comments of our post, and I'd love to see them. And this is very good sledding, so once the roads clear up, which fortunately you can see by our cameras earlier, the roads are starting to deteriorate, and we plan on having them be deteriorating for the remainder of the event. So how the roads, MoDOT gave us hope because, you know, the flurries were light, the snow was light, but now it's going to start ramping up, and we're going to have to be a little bit more concerned about the roads. So that is what we're looking at. But far as, let's take a look here. Far as impacts go, according to the MoDOT side, they have now gone ahead and completely marked every single highway around the St. Louis area, except parts of 70 and parts of 44, but even on the 55 as fully covered. We don't have any closed roads, which is good at this time, but if we take out the cameras, most if not all the highways at this time are covered in the immediate St. Louis area, and as we start to shift towards the south and almost the whole state, we are seeing some closures as well, but most of the area is seeing fully covered roadways, and I expect that to be there possibly all the way until Monday. I do think that impacts will go into Monday. I do think there will be difficult road impacts. It won't be snowing, but I do think the road impacts will linger into Monday. So Monday morning, if they haven't already canceled school or work, I do think it will be a possibility just because how the snow event is going to go and the treatment. So here on the Illinois side, you can see roads are mostly covered to partially covered. Let's see if we can get some. Not sure if there's any cameras, if there's a way to add cameras. Yeah, I don't see any cameras if we zoom in. Okay, we do have some cameras on the Illinois side, and you can see just as covered, this is east of Illinois, I-55 to 70 area, and Madison County. Folks over there probably know where this is. But you can see just moments ago, around 8:19, about 10 minutes ago, the roads are covered. And the only reason we have one lane open right now is the salt shaker snow and the traffic keeping the powder off the roadway. That is what's happening. So that is the current view of the road impact. We did have a couple crashes earlier today. We did post that we did have that semi-truck accident. And luckily, no one was hurt with that. No one was injured, but leave some it did leave some yogurt all over the area. And let me see if I can find the post, and we will get that pulled up here. So it did. I'll show you the accident here up close and let you know what happened. This was right at the 6455 intersection here. So that is what we're seeing. Okay, so they still have the photo out. And this is what it was, everybody. Let's see if we can get this. So this is that crash that we saw, and this is from the St. Louis Police Department here. And you can see, look, this trailer is cut in half. The other part of the trailer is over here. This section of the trailer is facing that way, and then you have part of that truck going that way. And so you can see the road conditions. The road conditions are packed, and once it gets packed with dry powder snow, it becomes slick. You can't get any traction on it. You can see bits and pieces of traction, but kind of almost looks like it must have jackknifed, and then the other truck tried to get out of the way, but unfortunately did not make it. But they do have other photos here as well, so this is almost what they're carrying. And if we zoom in, it's going to be hard to see on your phone, but it does look like some organic yogurt or some type of dairy that it was carrying. So you can see he was fully loaded as well, all the way up to the front. It did take a couple hours as well. And look at this other semi truck as well. And fortunately, no one was injured, but that's why we say stay off the roads. I understand freight needs to get where it needs to be, but it's just not worth it, because just look how bad it was. Luckily, no cars were involved, so that is good. But some type of organic food was the cause of that. And you can see here's the front side of the truck here. So you can see completely destroyed. The trailer is off of the axle. Look at that. This is the front, obviously, because the tanker right there. And it's just crazy how significant that incident was. But it is currently open. The update on that, it is open. Everybody is doing okay. And it looks like some of the freight, not sure what trailer, got transported to the rest of the way. Oh, yes, that is correct, Susan. Now it is frozen yogurt or frozen ice cream. So luckily, when it did happen, we didn't have to worry about food being spoiled or going bad. But you can see, just like this, almost like a food truck. This trailer turned into a food truck. So some people, you can see in the comments, say it looks like Ben and Jerry's ice cream, but on the boxes it does say some type of organic stuff. So that was the crash that was posting. I want to give you guys an update, but pretty severe crash that happened earlier today. So that is what was going on. Let's see. Holly says snowing like crazy in Peevely again. Wonder how we'll get. So we went over the snowfall totals, and I think towards the Peevely area, you guys are right on the edge of my area. But I think, like I mentioned before, I think you guys can at least get 10 inches, if not a little bit more. Like I said, and like I mentioned earlier today, that this storm has technically already overperformed. So this storm has somewhat already overperformed, because remember, like I said not too long ago, we were supposed to get a break in the action. So here is the closest I can get, and I'm glad you mentioned the Peevely area, because look at this. Almost whiteout conditions. Now, it doesn't qualify for blizzard-like conditions. Blizzard-like conditions are not happening due to the low winds. We at least need about 35 miles per hour for at least 4 hours to be even considered a blizzard warning. But one good thing about all these live streams is it's really not too much to talk about, because everybody's staying inside. We're not having crashes to show. And so, as everybody's doing the typical snowstorm, staying inside, monitoring updates, watching what's going on outside. But I do think, like I said, tomorrow will be a no-no. Tomorrow, no driving at all, even after it stops. We still don't want you guys to be out and about. We don't want you guys to be out and about at all. Because, in my personal opinion, I don't see the roads being cleared on time. I don't think once we get into the evening time, even when the snow amount is over, I don't think it's going to be good because even in the neighborhoods, they weren't plowing. At least over my area, my apartment complex, they were not plowing. And if they did, they only shoveled once and they only plowed once. So I don't think the totals are really, the totals are going to be significant. And I think we are going to see a little bit of time before we get those roads completely back open. And MoDOT did say a few days prior to the event, and we did make a post about it, that it is going to take almost till Wednesday to get the roads back open and flowing. So that is something to note there. It looks like a lot of sugar coming out of the sky. Yes, right now it does, but we do expect that to change. You can see the heavier snow bands, and as we get into around the Springfield area, and you can see the HADS cam here from Rocky Comfort, courtesy of Arkansas Weather Watchers, is showing just how intensity that snow is. So you can see a little bit higher snowflakes off of this camera down here in Rocky Comfort. This is all the way down near past the Branson or near the Branson area. So that is what's going to be coming our way. And we appreciate Arkansas Weather Watchers for letting us use the camera. But if we go to, I think the best camera out of all of them is the 270 camera at 170. And that really shows the type of intensity that we are looking for. So we'll see if that loads. It wants to look at West Florissant. We don't want West Florissant. We want, where are we at? There we go. And you can see, look at this. This is what I'm talking about here, folks. We have the snow in place, but at least in this camera view, it does look, you can see the camera almost can't even keep up with this. This is at 270 at 170 here. And you can see it's up top on the high mast. And, you're seeing it for yourself, everyone. The snow is here. The intensity of the snow is here. So it is pretty likely that the snowfall totals will be significant already. So we already had enough on this first time around. We haven't got any breaks so far with the snowfall like we originally thought in our discussions. We thought we were going to have a break to lower the totals. So, but you can see how heavy the snowfall is. And unfortunately, everyone, this is going to be how it is for the rest of the night into tomorrow. So even when you wake up in the morning, you're still going to see this type of snowfall outside your window. So I'm just going to let you know so you guys aren't surprised. This morning snowfall acted how it's supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be light, and you weren't waking up the snow due to the dry air. So, but like I said, what you're seeing on the camera now is what is going to be going for, unfortunately, almost the next 21 hours that the winter storm warning is being issued. So, totals are going to be on the high side. Natalie says, do you have a camera near 141 and 55? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. We have our camera system here. Just give me 1 second. We're going to get it switched over. You said 141 and 55. I have to go all the way through 141. So give me just a second. And then we went too far. And for some reason, I was not smart at the time and put it all in order. So Just give me 1 second. So that is Bowls 30. And you can see here. There we go. And look at that. We have the plow trucks. Perfect timing, Natalie. Perfect timing. You can see the MoDOT cameras. They're going to be a little bit high traffic right now because, their own software people have to use it. But you can see they're clearing it. And I don't know if you can tell on the screen, but there's really not a lot of lanes being opened up there. So MoDOT is unfortunately having a little bit of problems, but you can see they just went by. They are out, but it's very hard to see. One, because the camera is blurry, and then two, the snowfall rate. The snowfall rates are picking up a little bit more than what we had earlier today. And you can see right down below at the light, look at the bottom part of the camera there, just right next to, I think, the do not enter sign, you can see the heavy snowfall rate coming out. So there was a breaking snow at your place. Oh, okay, that was good. Yeah, towards the Illinois side, I think you're on the Illinois side, Amy, there was a little bit of breaks, but majority of us there was breaks, but at some points it was just very small flurries. So far as the Illinois cameras, the Illinois cameras, see, the thing about the Illinois cameras is they don't give us live feeds. So I will show you here what I'm talking about. So they only give us still images. So here's that. So they only give us still images. Like, we have cameras everywhere, but they're only still images. So you can see, we can go on the Illinois side, and the thing is, it only shows, so there's no live feed. So that's why I didn't add the Illinois cameras. But you can see right here in the St. Clair area, basically the same story here. Only about one lane is clear at the moment here. So that is something to note. But heavy snowfall is going to be possible through the night. And if you're just tuning in, most of the areas, we're going to be in the high side. And as I'm talking, we are going to look at the National Weather Service official forecast of what to expect as we go to sleep. So everything is still on track is what I'm trying to say here. Everything is performing okay. Maybe a little bit more than what we thought, but that is okay. National Weather Service did say that, just like us, avoid unnecessary travel, and more snow is arriving this evening. We already see it on our live cameras. And like I said, we don't need to be out and about. You can see what they highlight here. Do not travel unless absolute necessary. So no one should be traveling tomorrow. No one should be traveling tomorrow. So let's take a look here at the National Weather Service here at the latest amounts. And you can see they mention that life-threatening, if you do get stuck, if you get stranded, the brutal cold itself will be life-threatening. So travel is not advised, not only for the conditions, but if you get stuck, it won't be good either. So we really don't want you guys to be out. But here is the latest forecast from the National Weather Service. And you can see not much from our earlier live stream here. And the one I think we did, yes, the one that we did this morning, not a huge update. They still think there's a window 6 to 10, but if I was you, I would start thinking towards the 10 amount, the 8 amount, and close near a foot. I would start looking at the high end amounts. Yes, there is still a possibility that we could see a low end, but like I said, the neighbor's yard behind you might have an inch or two less. It's just all about where the snow bands are going. So at any time, the snow bands could be coming through. But if you look at the radar here, as I show the full screen radar, it's just plain out heavy snow everywhere. We're not really seeing any bands. And let's take off the precip type and let's go to the reflectivity. And you can see we have some light, the moderate snow towards the south here. And like I said, that's where we see our highest totals. And you can see we almost see some specks of yellow that indicating some significant snowfall. Unfortunately, we do not see that in our area, but almost heading towards Cape Girardeau and the south of Fredericktown is where we're seeing some heavier snowfall. But you can see some heavier bands of snow. The darker colors here is what we're seeing as the heaviest amount. So that is what we're looking at here. So still tricky forecast. A lot can still happen. So I didn't want to let you know, but as far as you can tell, the sleet and everything like that, it's going to stay to the south. Where it has been is where it will be, and we really have to watch the rest of this. The rest of this is going to be moving on to our area. So that is what we're looking into. So we have the snow right now. We have all this heavy snow behind it that still has to come through, which is what we're expecting. Natalie says, I'm still thinking 12 a foot of snow. You know, that is, at this stage of the game, that is realistic. That is a realistic amount of snow. So I don't think it's a crazy amount. I actually think at this point in time, it is an appropriate, accurate amount, is what I'm thinking. Also, do appreciate the likes so far on the live stream. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, we won't be on the whole time. I think we're going to just want to come on here and just explain what's happening. But like I said, it's going to be snowing all night long. So there's really no need to stay up past, 11 hours, 12 hours, 21 hours. Really no need for that. But we will have another live update starting very early. We'll be having a live update going around 4 a.m. We will be back here live forecasting events, going over more data, and finishing out the rest of the snowstorm as well. Probably, just about an hour or two, just popping in and letting you guys know what's happening. But everything is going good, so you might see less updates as we go into the overnight hours just because it's just the same thing that's going to be happening. Now we're officially into the second part. The second wave is here. And now all we have to do is just sit back and relax and basically enjoy the snowfall. That's all we have to do. Tomorrow's Sunday. Sleep in. You have no other reason to wake up early. So sleep in. And you know what? It will be just fine. So far everything is okay. I'm trying to get to this camera here. And let me get to the 170 camera as it loads. And you can see this is basically what we're going to be seeing there. This is what you're going to be seeing for the rest of the night. So unfortunately, there's really no need to post a lot of updates. But if anything does change, of course, we'll be posting updates on that. But like I said, the rest of the night, we're just going to be seeing this. We're going to be having updates early in the morning. So if you want to tune in live, we'll be up early covering the rest of the snowstorm. And that's when we'll have a lot more snow on the ground. So when you wake up, when you go to sleep tonight, depending when you go to sleep, we will have a significant amount more than what we have so far because we'll have the rest of the snow coming through. And you can see the snow is coming through. You can almost not even see through the camera. So that is something to be watching, and that is what we're going to be expecting. So basically, everything is on track. Everything is going as scheduled for the rest of the night. Amy says, get some rest, Kenny. I most likely would not be up at 4 a.m. That's okay. That's okay. You can always tune in. We'll probably go just a couple of hours for tomorrow's morning event. But as far as the overnight goes, how would you guys like if I run the 24/7 live stream? I know I mentioned this before, but I can leave up the live stream a little bit. Let's see if it wants to work here. So you can see here, this is what the 24/7 live stream looks like. So this is always an option that we have. And I'm not sure if Facebook will let me keep it on for so long, but this is what the screen looks. So you have the radar. Basically, we'll have the radar loop on like this. So you can see that. You can see the cameras rotate, the weekend outlook, and some additional other information. So if you guys would like, we always have this option, but I just don't know how YouTube is going to be. But basically what I'm saying is heavy snowfall that's going to be going through the night. Really, we're going to post maybe one more update, but besides that, I think we'll all be okay. So let's do a recap one more time. So here's the live camera. We're basically going to be seeing this all night. That's what we're going to be looking at all night. So if you see anything other than that, then we have something going on. But you can see highway cameras, roads are starting to be covered. Like I said, please don't travel tomorrow morning. Please don't travel tomorrow morning. I repeat, please don't travel tomorrow morning. Natalie said that will be awesome. Okay. So I was checking. I had the requirements. They only let me go 8 hours. So unfortunately, I will not be able to do it on Facebook. But I will be doing it on YouTube. So the 24/7 live stream will be starting on the YouTube. Unfortunately, I can only do it on the YouTube side. But it will be up running all night. And then also how it's set up and how it's programmed. When I go live in the morning, it'll automatically overwrite that and you'll see me, so you don't have to change the screen on that as well. So that is probably what we're going to be doing, because they let you go 12 hours. So, and we'll be live early enough, and we probably won't be live that long for the 12-hour period. So that will be that. And for the people that do want to participate in the 24/7 live stream, make sure this is the YouTube link. Not sure if it'll let you click on it, but just look up Team Kenny Weather on YouTube, and we'll eventually have the 24/7 live stream being available to you as we go into the overnight hours. And you can enjoy my very nice playlist that I made. I think it loops every hour and a half or so. So that will be that. So let me post that in the chat. So give me just a second while I do that. But like I said, there's really not going to be much to go over overnight. There's no need to stay on overnight. But I just wanted to come on just so you guys know what to expect as we go into the evening time. So the link is in there. Not sure if it'll let you click it, but that's how you'll be able to watch the 24/7 live stream. And we'll post the link on our Facebook page as well, so you can always check back on that. But like I said, snow all the way through. High-end totals are expected. Heavy snowfall is ongoing and will be ongoing until about 3 p.m. tomorrow morning. So that is the breakdown. And if you guys don't have any more questions, I think we're going to sign out for now, get the live stream going, and look at some more data. And then I think we are going to take some rest. We have been going since 5 a.m., so I think we're going to get some rest. And we'll be right back here bright and early, starting around 4 a.m. or so. So the time is a little bit iffy. Might do a little bit later. We may change it to 7, depending how long I want to sleep. But like I said, we will have the 24/7 live stream available to you. You'll see the cameras. It doesn't show all the cameras. Only certain cameras it shows. I'll add a couple more. But it shows a couple cameras, and it'll show the radar so you can see what's happening, and some additional information on the live stream. So that is the YouTube in the chat. And if you guys don't have any more questions, I'll stick around on here just for a couple minutes if you have any questions or comments. But I think so far, I think we will be good. And like I said, not much change. Only the amounts is what's going to change overnight. Nothing else. It's still going to be all snow. So there's really no need to go live. The traffic conditions as well are holding steady. Amy says, thank you. You're very welcome. And remember, everybody, we only have 21 hours to go. We're almost done with this, everyone. We're almost done, but the lingering impacts after it snows, the problems that happen after it snows, we'll have to start thinking about that. Oh, one more thing as well. The weather video should be posted on time. The weather video should be posted on time to talk about this week's coming up. So, lots of information, a lot more posts are coming your way as well. So, let me just check real quickly. I'm just going to check the highway cameras to make sure there is no accidents or anything to go over here. No new information. We are getting some snowfall totals, and they're starting to creep up a little bit near the 4-inch mark already. So we're already almost at our low end amount, and you can see if we bring it back live, we are already at our low end amount. The best case scenario, 4 inches. So like I said, the impacts and the mounts are on the way, and we will really see them in the morning. So if you want to stay up and watch it, you're really not going to be able to tell until we get into the very early morning hours. So do want to just let you know, this disclaimer, we'll probably not have any updates overnight, just because it's just the same old snow pattern unless anything changes. So let me just check the highway cameras real quickly if I can get it pulled up. Yeah, so current update, there's no crashes. So, on both sides of the river into Illinois and on the Missouri side, there is no weather impacts, no crashes, no nothing. So everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. So I think we're going to wrap up the live stream. We'll have the 24/7 live stream available. If you can't find the link or find us on YouTube, I'll post the link in this post right after the live stream. And we'll see you tomorrow morning for another live stream with the additional accumulation that happens overnight. So enjoy the snowfall. Nothing new is going to happen. This heavier snow is moving in. The main system is moving in. So have a great night. We will be monitoring, have additional information on the 24/7 live stream, and we'll be here bright and early with more updates to come on this big winter storm. Have a great night. We'll see you in the morning.